Well, I'm Jolly Tosh and welcome to another episode of Hooked, Line and Sinker. If you're serious about your carp fishing, you're serious about putting bait over your area easily and effectively, I'm going to put 4 of the latest baiting tools on the market today to the test, and I'm going to let you know which I think is the best to buy. So you may want to stick around. So the 4 baiting tools I'm going to be putting to the test today would be starting with the original Spomb. Needs no introduction from me, used all up and down the country by anglers, and this is the idea that spurred on all the other baiting tools on the market today. So the second one we're going to put to the test is the Foximpact Spod. Now this has a float on the back to improve casting, and also has a revamped opening mechanism that you can actually use one-handed. The third one we're going to be trying today is the new TFG Airbomb. It's probably been out on the market for about 7 months. This is a little bit different concept to the others that we're going to be trying today, as this is designed to open up mid-flight and give you a spread of boilies over your area. Now last but not least is the new NASH Dotspod. Now this used to be red and white and used to be sold in Europe through Dotspod themselves. However, NASH have now bought the license, give it a new paint scheme, and they are now selling it up and down the country under the NASH banner. So this one is really going to be the one to look at today. Now started with the Spomb, used all up and down the country, reliable as hell, used throughout the UK, and is good plastics. You've got a clip on the front which is adjustable, so you can have it less sensitive and then sensitive. Obviously if you're casting out particles, you're going to want it less sensitive. If you're casting out something heavy like boilies, you're going to want it a little bit less sensitive so it don't open up mid-flight. The only issues you have is with the swivel at the top breaking, and you also have issues with the spring inside this breaking. However, Spomb has got a really good customer services. You phone these up asking for a new stem, they'll either send it you for free or there's a small charge for postage, and as I said before, their customer services is second to none. Now second one we're going to be looking at is the Foximpact Spod. There has been a few issues in the past regarding this pin that goes through the top of the door. When they first brought them out, they didn't put a flange on it, so what happened is when this used to hit the surface of the lake, this door used to open, pushing this back, and then that used to pop off the pin. I also seen the other day where this little bit of plastic had broken off, and I see people still having issues with it. However, I can only speak as a find, and I've been using this all year. This has been my go-to baiting tool, and I've not had any issues at all. Plastic is reliable. The float on the back is absolutely fantastic when you're casting out. It does make a great improvement, and overall it's good. Let's move on to the next one. Right, the third one we're going to be looking at is the TFG Airbomb. Plastics are robust. It does feel quality in your hands. However, I have seen a few problems on the internet like the others, and that is with this pin pushing all the way through. That happened to a fellow blogger, the Carp King, who contacted TFG and sent him out a new Airbomb straight away that was redesigned, I think. So I don't think I've heard of any more issues since. The only other issue I've got is with this cheap plastic hook. This aids the casting so it doesn't open up mid-flight, and I really do think that will break off over time. It does feel really cheap. So that's the TFG Airbomb. It is bigger than the rest, but with this pin running down the middle, I'm not too sure whether it's going to hold as much as the others. Right, that brings me on to the NASH Dotspod. Now I'm going to be really honest, in the hand this does feel cheap. It doesn't feel as quality as the other products that I'm reviewing today. However, Dotspod have used these extensively in Europe for quite a few years, and the only issues that I've heard of is this spring on top going a little bit weak, but there is a guide on the internet if you look around on how to rectify that problem. But even though it does feel cheap, you know, it's there to do a job, and I'm told it does the job good. So let's move on to the next part of this review, is the baiting capacity and how much these hold. Right, let's start with the Spomb. This is the MIDI one. I've chosen this one as it's relatively the same size as all the other baiting tools I'm reviewing today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I would say that is full at 20. That's 20 18 millers. Probably get a few more on top, but a comfortable fill is 20 boilies. Right, let's have a look at the Foximpact spot and see how many 18 millers we can get in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. To guess, see whether it'll close. 21. Right, that's 21 in there. So let's have one more bait we can get in the Foximpact spot. Now this TFG Airbomb is the biggest out of the lot, so I'm expecting it to be filled up a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. See if it'll close up. 25 comfortably in there. Oh, well, this is going to be an interesting one, as I've been told by a few people that these don't hold anywhere near as much bait as the MIDI Spomb or the Foximpact Spomb. Now I'm not too sure about this. It's going to be close because of the way that this is designed. You're able to put an even amount of bait down this chamber, all the way down the chamber. So let's have a little look and see how many baits we can get in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm going to say 22 comfortably. See if it rejects. No problem at all. So the conclusion is the Dotspod really does take the crown for capacity. I know that the TFG Airbomb did hold 25, however it is a bigger unit, so the Dotspod, Impact Spod and the Spod are all about the same sort of size, and this holds a couple of boilies more. That brings me to the most important part of this review, and that is casting and retrieval. That is what these have been designed to do, put bait out in the area easy and effectively. So let's get straight to it, let's get some bait in there and let's get these out and let's see how these perform. Well, as I'm getting set up, I just thought to talk about the venue where I'm going to be doing this review today. I am at Mossley Angling Club, which is located in Walsall in the West Midlands. Now this is run as a syndicate and also as a day ticket fishery. If you'd like to come down here and fish on the days, all you need to do is drop on the link which is in the description below, drop over to their Facebook page, message one of the admin, and they'll give you all the information you need to do to come and fish down here. And some of the fish that you'll see in their page, you'll be able to agree with me, they are absolutely stunning. So let's get this spot out just as a little bit of a comparison to some of the other baiting tools that we're going to be trying today. We all know this performs well, but let's put out a few of these and let's see how the others perform against the original spot. Now, just a note, you have to manually load this with two hands, where the Dotspod and the Foximpact spod you can do one-handed. The same goes with the TFG Airbomb. You have to use two hands to load it. This is the spot, as you can see. I have to pump it to get it up. Once it's up, it does skim across the lake relatively well. It has got a tendency to go left and right, however, but all in all, it does the job well. Well, as expected, the spod did the job absolutely superb. The only little grumble I have got is it has got a tendency just to wobble and go off a little bit to the left or right when there is a bit of a wind on, and even more so when you've got the float on the back. But as I said, it flies out there true, and it does the job well. We can understand why this has been the #1 baiting tool application on the market for quite a few many years. Now the other issue that I have got, this probably only opens up probably about 85% of the time. That's why I moved off this and I went on to the Foximpact spod, which has got a more reliable opening when casting out. So let's try that now, and let's see how that performs over this. Well, that's a Foximpact spod. This has been my go-to baiting tool for the past year. Let's see how this performs over the spod. Now this is a one-handed operation. You just put it in, close the lid and cast it out. No need to get your hands dirty in dirty spod. It's gone out absolutely lovely. Onto the spot, no problem at all. As I said, it does cast a little bit better than the spod itself. However, as you'll see from the retrieval, most of the time it is an absolute mare to bring back. It'll actually dive while you're retrieving it, so you have to keep trying to pump it up as it just shows you now. There you go. Skips all over the place, and that's the only downside to this spod. Well, that's the Foximpact spod casted out. The reason why I chose to use this over the spod is that it's got a more reliable dispersion on the cast. It probably about 90-95% of the times this will open up, where I do have a few issues with the spod opening up, and I find myself reeling in, casting out again, it won't open up, casting out again, won't open up, empty the spod, fill the spod back up, and eventually it will disperse its spod mix or boilies into the area, where this you usually have a 90-95% open rate. Right, so let's get this TFG Airbomb out and let's see how that performs. Right, well that's the TFG locked and loaded and ready to use. As said before, this is a little bit different from the other baiting tools, as this is meant to open up mid-flight and then give you a projectile of bait over your area. It also uses a leader, which this O-ring fits onto this clip, and then when that hits the clip, it breaks off there, flies forward, pulls against the clip, and then obviously releases your bait. I said before I was a little bit dubious, because this leader at the back end of that Spomb is going to reduce on the casting abilities of this tool. So let's get it out, let's try it, and let's see how it performs. Oh yes, just about done it. However, it's only opened up as you would with a spod, to be fair. So it opens up when it hits the water rather than white in the air. That's what it was designed to do. Unfortunately, when you get to 100 yards, if you can get to 100 yards, you need to be casting 110 yards for that to open up mid-air, to be fair. I haven't been able to do it yet. I'm sure it's possible if you can give it a real good chuck, but you're not biting over that area comfortably. So what is the point? You know, what is the point for me, to be fair, more than anything? You know, I don't consider myself a bad caster, but having to struggle putting that out ain't the one. Right, well that was disappointing. TFG Airbomb. Unfortunately, it never even hit the clip once, and I was really hitting this hot rod hard to get this out. But unfortunately, the way that it's designed with this long leader behind and having to drag all that behind the back end of this spod is a no-go. So I couldn't even hit the mark if I wanted to. And what is the point in that, really? What is the point in having a baiting tool that won't hit the mark? It probably works well at 60 yards, 70. You may be able to get 80 yards out of it, but 100 yards, and I wanted to do it comfortably. So this, to me, is an over-engineered piece of junk. I won't be using it again. This will go in the shed with a load of the other junk shit that I collect, and it won't be used again. Fact. Let's move on to the Dotspod. I'm hoping that's a little bit more better. Right, Dotspod is going on. Let's see how that performs. Right. This is the Dotspod retrieval. Just comes back straight and true, no resistance at all. well, I've cast out 3 Dotspods out into the area, and I'm going to say it is absolutely superb. Not only does it go out straight and true where you want it to, it also comes back on the retrieve like nothing that you've ever used before. You don't get no resistance on the rod. As you're reeling in, this is coming back, and knowing from casting this out before that you get 100% open rate. This opens every single time and comes back empty. There's none of this where you get a bait full of spod. This will open up as soon as it hits the water every single time, and it is absolutely superb. So this is going to bring me to the conclusion of this review, and I'm going to let you know which one I think is the one to buy. So that brings me to the conclusion of which is the best baiting application tool on the market today, and I'm going to be honest, it is a clear run out of 3, because this TFG Airbomb is a over-engineered piece of crap, and that is best left to the bin. So it is really out of 3. All 3 do the job well, but there is only going to be one clear winner, because that does the job well, and it does it with such ease, and that is the new NASH Spomb. Unlike all the others, there's resistance, there's issues with it with opening, but unfortunately the Dotspod don't have any of them issues. It goes out true, it goes out straight, it drops its payload every single time, and it retrieves with ease. So for me, this is the one to buy, which is the NASH Dotspod. Now, this is only my opinion. If you don't agree, let me know in the comment section below, and I'm sure there'll be a few people that think otherwise, but for me, this is the one. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you've enjoyed this run through, and hopefully you'll take something away from this. So for now, bish bash bosh, keep it tosh, wet nets, tight lines. See you on the next video.